Right in the hunt. Let's keep moving. Go to a former winner. This guy goes all the way back to 1998. He won it 13 years ago. And in 07, he let the field know that he does not need anything in his calls but smack.
I don't need music, and I don't need actors either. I just need the smack off to be the smack off. I'll show up every year and run my smack, because on a day like today, when inevitably Vic and NoCal bombs in his version go round, really puts the smack off in perspective.
Stevie Carbone, let's do this thing. Bidding to become a two-time champ. Bidding to get the prize. His choice, Vegas or the RV tailgate hookup. We go there right now. Steve, what's up? How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing great, Steve.
I said that in 97. Oops. Jim, you know, it was tough deciding whether or not to call in this season. I'm kind of feeling out of the loop here. I'm not really knowing kind of much about the jungle anymore. But when I heard the winner gets hotel and airfare to Vegas for a weekend plus MMA tickets and cash, you kidding me? It's like the Cablinasian reminding all of Twitter on a daily basis he was a 5-time champion. I certainly wasn't passing up this opportunity. You know, just one request, though. When I win this thing, is it possible to get my champagne room charge comped at Olympic Gardens? Because Cammie is expecting me back soon, and I wouldn't want to disappoint her. And, hey, now I can even blog about it without getting fired. Jim, I've noticed in recent years success in the smack-off has pretty much come from two things. Talking incessantly about yourself and berating as many other callers as you can. But I am, you know, as everyone is saying, from the old school, so I want to keep sports takes into my call. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that prayers and condolences need to go out to the family and friends of the San Francisco Giant fan that was pummeled by Dodger fan on opening day. Now comes word that this guy might be suffering from brain damage. How does this happen? I mean, sure, it's tragic, but how did they give an innocent NoCal fan brain damage and his name wasn't Vic? I mean, Dodger fans can be real idiots sometimes. Way to be selective. Congrats to the LAPD for their quick reaction to this incident by now employing 20,000 of their finest at the next Dodger homestand. Huh? How backwards is that? Do they also put on their flak jackets after they've taken a few rounds to the chest? And this is embarrassing. Vic, your ego is out of control. You have the same number of titles as me. One. Let's not get carried away here. Now, I know when you're in the throes of passion with a woman or whoever you're holding down at knife point against her will, you probably scream out your own name, but a did not call, a third place, and a first place in 3 smack-offs is nothing to stick your tattooed chest out at, okay? You've won it once. You are Jeffrey DiTola with a red bandana tied to the front of your head. You are, well, me with 20,000 less Twitter followers. Last year, Vic, you said you were straight up carving fools. Son, the only carving you will ever be doing the rest of your life is your name into the walls of Cell Block C at San Quentin. Jim, you know what my favorite new piece on ESPN is now? It's that sports science segment where the dork who doesn't blink, John Brankus, he likes to dissect all things about sports that no one with any semblance of a social life or a girlfriend even cares about. Really? Brankus telling me that the trajectory at which Brittany Griner can block a shot is something I don't find very riveting. Hey, Brankus, tell me how Brad and Corona can drive on the 91 freeway in his convertible Volkswagen Rabbit with winds reaching speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, yet when coming to a complete stop, none of the guy's hair follicles have moved and his guy liner hasn't started running down his face. Explain that phenomenon. Brad, you are living off a Doc Mike impression from 2 years ago. And by the way, have we really been calling him Doc Mike for the last 15 years? Wasn't that the whole running joke in The Hangover that Stu kept calling himself a doctor? Mike, you're a freaking dentist. You're not a doctor. The only doctor of teeth I know was the leader of the Muppets band. Anyway, Brad, your stitched shirts and your bedazzled jeans and the Burberry cologne showers you take don't belong here in the jungle anymore. You were an accident back in 2009, kind of like I'm sure your daughter was before that. How about you update that glam shot to something more appropriate, like pulling the sweater down past your shoulder before you turn to look over it? You know, Jim, I was reminded earlier this week of how incredible a run it was seeing the little upstart from Indianapolis come out of nowhere and almost reach the mountaintop. I mean, no one saw that coming in back-to-back years. A part of you actually starts feeling bad because you know how much time and effort was put into getting to that point, only to end up as the bridesmaid once again. But when it was all said and done, as is usually the case, talent is always going to win out. And no, I'm not talking about Butler. I'm talking about the other guy who shoots blanks when it matters most, and that's our boy Mike in Indy. Mike, it was a nice little story, but seriously, leave this contest to the adults. You sitting around in your stained jorts with your Gordon Hayward haircut and your blue and white 18 jersey have made a nice little run the last 2 years, but you inevitably will fail to deliver on the biggest day of the year once again today. It's safe to say you're going to be stuck with Jim Caldwell face as yet another big opportunity passes you by. Oh, I do declare, Mikey, I do declare that your mom's calling for you and your runner-up T-shirt is ready in the laundry. And speaking of people out of their league in this thing, I know he hasn't called today, but why would the hack-off winner even try? I mean, really, Ray? Like, you have a chance today? You were completely outmatched. The smack-off is Kirstie Alley. You are her seat. The smack-off is Lady Gaga. You are Rebecca Black. The smack-off is a hydraulic lift. You are Declan Sullivan. You see my point here, Ray? Not to mention being the long-lost cousin of Eddie the Dope is not something to be proud of. I mean, other than the lyrics to Friday, is there anything easier to do than destroy these guys once a year? I mean, Trapper in the first hour, Oren in the second hour. Gotta make my mind up. Which call sucks the worst? It's Friday, smoking fools on Friday. Punk asses wish they could join me on my Vegas trip. Friday, smoking fools on Friday. I'm gonna make love to all your girlfriends. These guys are all worthless, yeah, hoping to be famous, yeah. Punks.